Hey, check it out. Check it out. Looks a lot different, don't it? It better. Yeah, I'm still not finished. I'm about 90% done, though. About 90% done. If Lou said that we're losing to Duke, he must have fell and hit his head. Look, he doesn't believe that. Whether he said it or not, I don't know. He doesn't believe it, though. I'll play it at the top of the show. Yeah, I gotta see that. I got a State of the Fan address coming out after the show today. I've already shot the video. I'm going to wait till this afternoon to upload it. And it's addressing people apparently like Uncle Lou, I guess. I don't understand how anybody could think that Clemson's going to be worse than they were last year. With an upgrade at quarterback and an upgrade at offensive coordinator. And not to mention the defense is going to be absolutely disgusting. And you had 3 guys that could have been drafted that came back. All right, let's get the show started. I'll pull that up in a second. Let's get the show started, though. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, PigskinPeete. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Midday Show. That's right, the Midday Show. I think the last Midday Show I did was on Monday, and you can see why. Well, the last live stream I did was on Monday, I think. Well, Tuesday was 4th of July, but I've been working around the clock all week to get things situated here in the studio, and I'm tired. I stayed up till about 2:30 in the morning last night getting the final touches put on this, and it's not completely done. I don't know if you guys can see, but right there where those TV stands are, that's not going to be there. I have stuff going on the wall there. I've got some more stuff going on the walls and other places as well, and also some lights and stuff coming in. But the main stuff is done. And most of the main thing is really what you can't see. It's all in front of me. So you won't be able to see that until you see me do like an uploaded video in here or something. But I am worn out because I've been doing this studio and the garage simultaneously because the two go hand in hand. A lot of what was in here before that you couldn't see on camera is now in the garage, and vice versa. A lot of this stuff came up from the garage. And I did make sure to put a recliner up here so when Nate comes up here, he'll have somewhere to sit and watch the Michigan game while I'm streaming. So there you go, Nate. You got yourself a recliner over there. But I am happy to have this new space. This has been a long time. It's not a new space. It's just a repurposed space because that entire side of the room that you see behind me now, it took up half of this room. Literally half of the room between that wall and where I'm sitting was filled up with furniture and all kinds of other shit. And I was sort of backed into this wall over here. Now I have room. Hell, I can do a cartwheel back here. And now also, I have two TVs mounted up above my head here on the wall. So during the season, I'm not regulated to changing the channel every 3 seconds. I can stream 2 games at once. Whatever the 2 biggest games are on. If Clemson's playing at the same time as the biggest matchup of the week, I don't have to miss the biggest matchup of the week just so I can stream the Clemson game. Because of course I'm going to watch every Clemson game. I can have them both on at the same time now. So it's a huge deal. And like I said, this is something I probably should have done a couple of years ago, but it was a big undergoing. I mean, doing everything myself, other than my oldest son helping me carry furniture down to the garage and up from the garage. I did everything myself without zero help. So I'm proud of myself, and I'm looking forward to using the space the way that it should be used for this season and many seasons to come, hopefully. So anyway, let's get, by the way, real quick announcement. Yes, there will be a call-in show tonight, and you will want to tune in. I'm not going to get too much into it, but I'm sure you've all seen, and I want to thank Uncle Lou for this. He mentioned on the morning show yesterday, which I was listening to, but I was painting. So I had paint all over my hands. I couldn't comment because I didn't want to get paint on my phone. But he pulled up the Phil Steele thing. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about this or seen this. Phil Steele in his 2023 predictions has Clemson at 2 and Tennessee at 19. Tennessee fans are down bad right now. And they say, oh, who cares what Phil Steele thinks? Well, I guarantee you, if they had Tennessee at 2 and Clemson at 19, they would care. They would care. So an open invitation. I'll do my best to lure in the Tennessee fans between now and the call-in show tonight at 10 p.m. That's going to be a lot of fun. Real quick, though, let me pull this up. Somebody just mentioned that Uncle Lou did a preview video yesterday. I didn't watch any YouTube yesterday other than I listened to the morning show. I was just too busy running around and doing shit and painting and moving stuff. But they said that he did a prediction video for Clemson. He's got them losing to Duke. I got to at least see this with my own eyes to even believe it. I'm just telling you right now. Let me find it. There it is.
Our holsters are...
Give me a second. All right, let's get to the point.
Won an ACC title, played in a New Year's Six.
I'm obviously not going to play the whole video. I'm going to skip to the Duke prediction, and then I'll probably skip to the end and see the final record prediction. So I'm assuming, again, I haven't seen it. I'm assuming that he's going to have Clemson losing 3 games then? Or 2? I don't know. We'll find out. Hold on.
6 game. Had an undefeated regular season, at least against the ACC.
Need a timestamp, Jack. Where are we at here? Doesn't he put it up on the screen usually?
FSU in odds to win the national title. So again, this tells you how close the betting public perceives Clemson and Florida State to be. Extremely close in terms of odds to win the national title. Dead.
So wait, so Terrence, you're what you're doing is comparing South Carolina to Duke. All right, I got you. The mighty SEC South Carolina, you're comparing to one of the worst teams in the ACC, Duke. All right, I got you.
Odds to win the national title. I think
like I said during the intro, for those of you who aren't in here, where is it now? Somebody said at the end. Okay, here we go. It's the first game of the year, so he's probably going to start with that one, I would assume.
Schedule up on the screen.
I do have a State of the Fan address coming out after the show today. Just keep an eye out on YouTube for a video. So I've already shot the video. I'm going to upload it this afternoon. And it's addressing this kind of mentality. But go ahead.
We're going to go through it game by game, and we're going to figure out what can the Taters do in 2023. Will it be another C- year? For my buddies out in Clemson, we're about to find out. They start things off Memorial Day weekend. The ACC's got to answer some questions here. Memorial Day weekend on the road at Duke. I think it was last year they did the same thing. Was it last year or the year before? I think it might have been last year.
Now, I do agree with them that this is a silly opening game for the biggest brand in the ACC right now. I mean, look, we can argue semantics over who the biggest brand is, Florida State or Clemson, but look, for the better part of a decade, it's been Clemson. So until further notice, until Florida State can knock Clemson off and beat them in 7 years and win the ACC, which they haven't done since when? 2014. Then Clemson's the biggest brand in the ACC right now. I mean, they're still at the top. And to play a road game at Duke on Monday, September the 4th is silly for, the opening game for the biggest brand in the ACC. I agree with
Clemson play Georgia Tech in Atlanta on the road to open up the season. Now, I'm not saying that, the ACC is trying to set up Clemson to fail or that Georgia Tech and Duke are two top 5 teams or programs or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there in the ACC, but Monday night game here, Monday, September 4th, the Labor Day game, Clemson on the road, true road game at Duke, Wallace Wade Stadium, 8 o'clock, Labor Day night. Duke won 9 games last year. They didn't play Clemson, so we don't know what would have happened last year had they played each other, but Duke won 9 games. They were 8-4 in the regular season. They won their bowl game. I think it was the Military Bowl against Central Florida, a decent group of 5 team. But how about their 4 losses? Well, one of their losses was by 8 points. All right, 8. Okay. 2 of their losses were by 3 points. And their 4th loss was by 2 points. 3 of their 4 losses were 3 points or less. One of them was overtime. And then there was an 8-point loss. Duke was a good team last year with a really good offense and a really good quarterback. In terms of returning production at quarterback, this Riley Leonard at Duke is miles beyond.
How many games did Clemson win last year? He's talking about Duke winning 9 games. How many games did Clemson win in the ACC? Anybody know? Bueller.
On anything Cade Klubnik did last year. Now, I don't think he's better than Cade Klubnik. That's not what I'm saying. But Duke, this is a scary game for Clemson. If you're a Clemson fan and you're just looking at this schedule and going, oh, well, week 1, Duke, we're going to win that one. You might want to get your head out of the sand and start paying attention. If Clemson's football team feels the same way that fan does, Clemson's going to get their ass embarrassed in week 1 on the road at Duke. Duke can win this game. If Clemson has not figured
Everybody knows the hard environment at Duke. Man, what a tough environment. We got to be one of the toughest environments in all of the country to play in.
Their issues offensively and in the back end of that secondary, they will lose this game. They will lose this game if they don't have those things figured out. And here's the problem if you're Clemson. Duke's returning 17 starters. They returned their quarterback. They've got all their key pieces back. They're not having to learn something new here at the beginning of the season. Clemson's on its third offensive coordinator in the last 3 years. They've got a brand new starter at quarterback. They've got a bunch of wide receivers that, like I mentioned before, nobody watching this video outside of a couple of Clemson fans can name any of them. They lost 4 of their best players off the defense to the NFL draft. And they've got a secondary that's absolutely horrendous. At least it was last year. If Clemson ain't ready to go, they're going to lose this game. There is no warm-up.
Let me tell you something. There isn't a single person watching right now. There isn't a single Duke fan. And certainly Uncle Lou is not willing to put any amount of money against me right now. Now, forget the points. He's talking about win. I'm not talking about covering the spread. He's talking about win. There is nobody willing to bet me that Duke is going to beat Clemson week 1. Nobody. And not him either. People who believe stuff like that, they'll bet it. Is anybody, look, my PayPal link is in the description of the video. If you want to bet me, name your price. Send it to my PayPal. You're on. Straight up. Not points.
Up time here. There's, Clemson's losing week. Duke is beating Clemson. Clemson is starting 0-1. Clemson is. I'm picking Duke to win this game. I'm not laughing because people are going to think I'm trolling now. I'm not trolling. I'm legitimately picking Duke to win this game. I'm concerned about a few things as it relates.
No, I'm not giving you money line odds. I'm not a casino.
To Clemson as a program, Dabo Swinney, his attitude towards NIL and the transfer portal and recruiting in general. Setting all that aside, though, Duke is just a legitimate team. 9-4 last year, 17 starters coming back. One of the best quarterbacks in the ACC. Coaching staff returns. Home game, week 1 at night.
Clemson returns their entire defense outside of Brian Brzee. 3 guys that were supposed to enter the draft that we thought were entering the draft are coming back. And we're not talking about scrub players. We're talking about starters. You've got an upgrade at coordinator, a massive upgrade at coordinator. You've got 2 really, really dynamic running backs. And then this is the other thing, too. I don't want to say too much because, like I said, I've already recorded the State of the Fan address, which I did early because of this nonsense. And I'm not saying lewd nonsense. I'm just talking about in general. The narrative about Clemson in the offseason, people have gone off the deep end, man. They really have. They don't understand the roster. I know people say there's no wide receiver on Clemson's team as good as whatever the hell that guy's name was that was one of the best receivers in the country last year that played for TCU. Outside of that, Clemson's offense is full of 4 and 5 stars. I'm not saying there's no 3 stars on their offense, but you're talking about top 100 players when they were recruited. 4 and 5 star. They got a 5-star quarterback. They got a 5-star running back. And the guy who's 1B at running back, Phil Maffa, plays like a 5-star. He should have been a 5-star. They have finally, for the first time since Jordan Leggett, a real threat at tight end for receiving. And he says nobody can name 3 wide receivers on Clemson's team. Yeah, they can. Because they were some of the highest recruited players at the position coming out of high school. And both of them were true freshmen last year, and one of them was hurt for the entire season. Everybody knows who Antonio Williams is. Everybody knows who Adam Randall is. And everybody knows who Bo Collins is, too. So Clemson has upgraded from last year. Clemson won 10 games in the regular season and then the ACC championship. So 11 games. And they've upgraded, not downgraded. We got rid of that statue with feet on it at quarterback who couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Upgrade.
the Clemson fans and I can't imagine Clemson being up for this game. I don't see it. I don't want to use the word struggled with Georgia Tech last year.
I don't care if Josh Pate. Since when did Josh Pate become like the end all be all for college football? Everyone goes, well, Josh Pate said this. Josh Pate. I don't give a shit. I'm saying he's wrong. What makes Josh Pate more right about Clemson than me? I'll tell you what. I'll tell you the answer to that. Nothing. Nothing makes him more right than me about it.
Keep in mind, Georgia Tech was a horrible team.
Hey. Josh Pate said it too. What did Phil Steele say? We can play the name game back and forth. What did Phil Steele say? What makes him more competent than Phil Steele?
Absolutely horrible. Clemson struggled with them for the majority of that game. Just go back and watch it. Don't look at the score. Go back and watch the game. I'm picking Duke. Monumental upset here in week 1 of college football.
Let's go down.
I'm picking Duke to beat Clemson at home in week 1.
Give
me the Dukies. Clemson starts 0-1, and all the Clemson fans have now clicked off.
No, Alabama 4.
Charleston Southern.
Hey, Phil Steele said it though.
No problem. Florida Atlantic, same thing. Clemson.
Michigan at 3. I didn't say it. Phil Steele said it. Oh, look who it is.
You need Charleston Southern.
Look at there
before the Duke game. ACC conference.
Look at that.
What are you doing? You're setting Clemson up to fail here.
Hey, Phil Steele said it. Must be true.
Duke, followed up by back-to-back wins against Charleston Southern.
Must be true.
Atlantic, and then the Florida State game, probably the game of the year in the ACC. And guess what? Florida State will already have a loss by this point, too. I've got LSU beating Florida State in week 1, and I've got Duke beating Clemson in week 1. This will be a battle of one-loss teams here, and I think Florida State wins at Memorial Stadium in Death Valley. Clemson is 2-2 after the first month of the season. On the road at Syracuse, a win for Clemson, not buying into Syracuse. Come back home, play Wake Forest. Sam Hartman's gone. Now, they still have a dangerous offense. The coaches are still there. Their offense is very unique. It's almost like practicing for the triple option. I don't mean that it is the triple option. I mean that it's such a unique offense that nothing you do preparing for Syracuse or Florida State or Duke, nothing you do preparing for those teams helps you to prepare for Wake Forest. It's a totally separate, just unique offense that they run, but I think Clemson gets the win. Wake Forest without Sam Hartman, to me, not nearly as dangerous. I'll take Clemson to win that one at home, and then you head into your bye week. Come out of your bye week, go on the road, and you play Miami. Boy, don't tell the Miami man this, but they're going to be bad again this year. I think Clemson gets to win on the road at Miami. Back-to-back road games can be tricky. In fact, this is a 3-game stretch here that Clemson really needs to be careful. They are better than all 3 of these teams, I think, including Notre Dame. Clemson, I think, is going to get better as the season goes along. People are shaking their heads still about the Duke pick. I think Clemson will be better 7 or 8 weeks into the season than they are in week 1. Particularly offensively. I just think it's going to take a while for that offense to kind of figure itself out. Again, 3rd offensive coordinator in 3 years and a brand new quarterback. I think you go on the road and beat Miami. I think you go on the road and beat NC State. And I think you beat Notre Dame at home. I've already done a Notre Dame version of this video, so you might have already known that. But I've already done the Notre Dame prediction and preview video, and I think Notre Dame loses on the road in Clemson. That's a big win there. For Clemson, you win 3. I don't want to say those are 3 tough games. Miami's not very good, but back-to-back road games and then a home game against Notre Dame. That's definitely not the easiest 3-game stretch in the world, but I think Clemson finds a way to get through it and win all 3 at Miami, at NC State, home against Notre Dame. Home against Georgia Tech, you'll win that, no problem. Brent Key is a massive upgrade over Jeff Collins and the previous coaching staff, but Georgia Tech, from a talent perspective, is still just miles away, really, from competing with anybody.
Let me guess. Hold on, I haven't seen this. So he already said in the comment section he picked him to lose 3 games, one of them to Duke. So he's going to have them beat Georgia Tech. He's going to have them beat North Carolina, right? So he's basically picking Clemson to lose to South Carolina too, right? So they're going to lose to Duke, Florida State, and South Carolina. Is that right? Let's see.
As much as this year. if they can get the job done in front of their home fans. South Carolina's a team that's heading in the right direction. Again, not a team I expect to be some sort of top 5 program in the next 2 years. But if you look at the recruiting there and what Beamer's doing, the talent level.
But Pete, South Carolina beat Clemson last year, Pete. Yeah. South Carolina beat Georgia in 2019. What happened in 2020? What happened? Was I going to run around the entire offseason and during the season in 2020 saying that Georgia was or South Carolina was going to beat Georgia in 2020 because they beat them in 2019? No. Because nobody with any sense would say that.
Is increasing. I think Spencer Rattler will have a better year this year than he had last year. And I think South Carolina beats Clemson for the 2nd year in a row. That's a loss to Duke, a loss to Florida State, and a loss to South Carolina. And the Tater Man is at 9-3 for 2023. Not going to be happy. That's the bad news. Good news? There is good news. There is good news. I think you still make the ACC title game. I think the ACC title game is going to be Clemson versus Florida State in a rematch. 9-3, losses to Duke, and what was the other loss? Florida State. So that's 2 ACC losses. The third loss, South Carolina, is a non-con loss. So you're going to have 2 conference losses. I think that's good enough to get Clemson into the ACC title game, most likely with a rematch against Florida State. So there you go. That's my 2023 Clemson Tater preview and game.
There you have it, folks. There you have it. Official prediction from the Uncle Lou is Clemson 9-3 with losses at Duke, at home against Florida State, and at South Carolina. But going off of his logic, he keeps talking about, well, Tennessee beat you last year. Well, South Carolina beat you last year. Well, did Florida State beat Clemson last year? I must have missed that. Well, such a terrible team, terrible offense. Still went down to Tallahassee and put a whooping on the Seminoles. So let's get to the chat here real quick. Matt Dummett's here. Kevron Harris. Stingrays in the house. Huffer Billy Paul. Eddie Rose. Mizzou fan. Look at that. Jeremy Garrettson. Cade Club Dick. Mayhem Matthew. D. Taylor. There's a Tennessee fan. Tiger Cat's here. Big Dog Brett. The Flat Earther. Colby. Harold Gray. Goose Sports. What's up, Goose? Slim Shady Canes. Crip Mac. And of course, Crip Mac is wearing blue in his profile picture. That's fitting. It would be weird to see him wear red. I guess Crip Mac cannot be a Georgia fan, can he? Man, that would be talk about a conundrum. You can't call yourself Crip Mac and then wear Georgia red. That would just, I don't even know how that would work. I don't know how that would work. Rack Dog is here. Zona Tucson 93. Kevin Schuler, the Twisted, I'm assuming that's Twisted Rooster. You change your YouTube name? It does kind of rhyme. Kevin Schuler, the Twisted Rooster. Like it. Homegrown Cowboy, James Thompson. Yeah, this might be the best Clemson secondary since 2018. I'm just letting you know. 2 of the best linebackers in the country, Trenton Simpson and Barrett Carter. Defensive line, forget about it. Forget about it. Let me ask you guys a question. How many teams on Clemson's schedule are going to be able to score more than 14 points? Maybe 2? Maybe 2? Maybe Florida State? Maybe South Carolina? Notre Dame is an interesting team to me. Obviously, they upgraded at quarterback with getting Sam Hartman. But they've been a team and a fan base that had been running around for several years now talking about their biggest problem is skill position players on offense. Now, I think Notre Dame's going to be a good team. But not just a good team, a really good team. Now, whether they'll be great, I don't know. But I just don't see that many teams on Clemson's schedule being able to score more than 14 or 17 points. So the narrative that they've got a coordinator and a new system. Well, first of all, they got a better coordinator and a better system. We already know that. But they don't need to score 45 and 50 points a game. They don't need to. Not to win. How many points is Duke? I would like to say it's a 14-point spread, right? Against Duke. And they're probably assuming that Clemson's only going to score 17 points because they've got a new offense and a new coordinator, right? And I'm going to call him a rookie quarterback. He only started one game last year. He barely played. So that means they probably think Duke's not going to score more than 7 or 10. That'd be my guess. I'm saying Vegas. Where was I? Pete McGaha. Mayhem Matthew. Fish and Football. Terrence. Terrence is worshiping the Bible of Josh Peete. I'm worshiping the Bible of Phil Steele. You know? This is like the Christians versus the Muslims. We're worshiping different analysts. Oh, by the way, I'm just kidding about the Phil Steele. Now, it does trigger the Tennessee fans because it's funny. Because your boy did say that if Clemson were to join the SEC right now, they'd be top 3. And nobody even really listened to what I said. People keep saying, why are you bragging about being the third best team in the SEC if you were to join them? I didn't say they'd be the third best. I said they'd be top 3. What order they'd be in, I don't know. Could be second. I said top 3. 3 being the minimum. And of course, that got the Tennessee fans big mad. The LSU fans got big mad about that too. But I did look at Phil Steele's list, and he's got some ridiculous. He does have some ridiculous shit. I wouldn't even put Clemson at number 2 in the country right now. So I don't believe. I don't believe that that's an accurate ranking for Clemson going into 2023 as them being second. I don't believe that. I do believe that they have a chance at the end of the season to be top 4. I'm not saying they will. But I'm saying there's a decent chance. There's at least a 50% chance Clemson makes the playoffs this year. That's about where I'm at with that number. I don't ever pick them to go 12-0, and I'm not doing that this year. I believe they'll drop one of those 3 games. Not Duke. Not Duke. When I say one of those 3 games, I mean either Florida State, Notre Dame, or South Carolina. And the only one of those that's on the road is South Carolina. But I'm not sold on South Carolina yet. I mean, look, the vast majority of last season, they played like hot crap. They got hot at the end of the season. Can they carry that over into this season? Well, nobody knows. When's the last time that South Carolina put 2 good seasons together? Can anybody remember? It's Steve Spurrier days. I got news for you. Steve Spurrier's on a golf course somewhere. He's not in South Carolina. Scott Kerr. Luke is here. The Nature Boy. Millis Vanillis. Steele Gamble. South Carolina still has no run defense, and Riley will be smart enough to keep running the ball. Yeah, that's the other thing too. People talking about they don't have any receivers. Well, first of all, they do. But even if let's say they didn't. Hold on. Let's even say that they didn't. People have this idea that Garrett Riley is some sort of air raid offense guy because that's what Lincoln Riley is, and he played for Mike Leach, and Mike Leach was an air raid guy. He runs the ball statistically, even at TCU, more often than he passes it. And again, look at Clemson's running back core. They don't have a 1 and a 2. They have a 1A and a 1B in Shipley and Maffa. Are either one of those guys, Travis Etienne, the best running back in the history of the ACC? No. Guess what? Nobody is. But there was never a backup or 1B for Travis Etienne. It was him, and after Travis Etienne, it was a massive drop-off at the next one. So you're going to see a lot. You're going to see a lot of running the football with Garrett Riley. And as long as that's effective, you all know this, the simple semantics of the game. Well, most of you do. If you're able to run the ball effectively, it does wonders for the passing game. It also does wonders for the passing game if you're able to throw the ball to your receivers, which is something we haven't had in the past 2 seasons, at least. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do the news today because I just don't feel like it, honestly. The StreamYard is open if anybody wants to come on. What's up, the Real Big Lee? If anybody wants to come on, the StreamYard link is in the description of the video. I believe I can post it too. Give me a second. There it is. For some of you don't know how to look in the description of the video, so there it is. Mayhem Matthews says to check my PayPal. Okay, hold on. You got a bet for me, bro? Or you just being nice? I don't know if it just hasn't come through yet, or I don't know what's going on. I don't see anything in there from you, Mayhem. What is up? Welcome to the Midday Show.
Ahoy.
Ahoy.
Now, I got a phone call, and I missed what Uncle Lou said, Clemson's final record.
He said their final record was going to be 9-3. That wasn't even the most shocking part because, look, it's college football. Anything can happen, right? Even though they've only won 9 games in the regular season, once in the past 15 years, and so I don't get that part. But whatever. He said they were going to lose to Duke week 1.
Yeah.
And I'm the crazy one. But don't worry. Hey, but don't worry. Josh Pate said it too, so that means it must be true.
Well, I also think I think Uncle Lou has taken a different tack this offseason because he's been doing nothing but blowing smoke up the ass of the Tennessee and Florida State man. And I think he's really setting both of those fan bases up for suicide watch.
Well, again, I don't want to say too much because I've recorded a video to upload this afternoon, and a lot of what I've been saying today is what's said in that video. But the fact of the matter is, as far as Florida State goes, it's one thing to not have the expectation on you to win 10 or 11 games and win your conference and have a good season, which is what Florida State has the possibility to do. But there's no pressure in that situation, right? If you win 10 or 11 games, great. But if you don't, everyone's just like, okay, well, same old Florida State that we've seen the past 6 or 7 years, right? So now they actually have the pressure on them. And I'm not saying that Florida State's not going to be good, because I do think they're going to be good. But they were picked to beat Clemson last year too, by a lot of people. How'd that work out?
Well, I think what you've seen out of Florida State is last year is probably also very well could be the pinnacle of what's achievable trying to build a team through the transfer portal. You can bring everybody in, great, but what makes these teams like Clemson and Alabama and Georgia and Ohio State, what makes them do as good as they do every year is these guys that have been there for multiple years and have gelled together.
Yeah.
And you don't have that with Florida State. Now, I absolutely think Jordan Travis is either the second or third best quarterback in the ACC this year. And really good.
Yeah, and I think defensively they'll be pretty good too. But yeah, and that's what I think most of the reason that they're getting the love they're getting is because of Jordan Travis. But that's just one player.
Exactly, and unless Jordan Travis can be Superman in every single game, Florida State's going to have a lot of problems. I don't have as much faith in their defense as you do. I mean, everybody was talking about, oh, look at Florida State's defense last year, and then you look at Oklahoma, you look at Florida, you look at NC State, and you're like, what the fuck happened to Florida State's defense?
Yeah. What's up? Welcome to the show.
So you think Clemson's just going to waltz into Wallace Wade Stadium on a federal fucking holiday? You know, I go through the schedule before I hit record. I had Clemson at 10-2 with losses to Florida State and South Carolina. And then while I was sitting there talking about Duke, I talked myself into picking Duke.
Yeah. I know how that goes.
To my credit, though, I do say in the video it would be a massive upset if it actually happens. But look, it's not nothing against you or Clemson. These preview videos everybody does are boring. If you just pick every team to win the games their favorite, it just gets old. Well, sometimes I just make ridiculous picks.
Well, first of all, it's like I said, you're not even really the first person I hear saying that. Not the Duke thing, but just the overall record, the 9-3. So, you know, I wouldn't say you're in the majority, but it's about 50-50. People think that for whatever reason, I guess because it's a new offense and a new quarterback, that Clemson's going to lose 3 games in the regular season. I just honestly don't see it. Especially, here's the main thing: the two of the toughest games they have are in Clemson. That's a huge plus. And then the other thing is that 2 of their toughest games, Notre Dame and South Carolina, are both in November. So that new offense should be somewhat competent or gelling by the end of the season. So in my opinion, there's a lot working in Clemson's favor as far as the way the schedule falls.
Yeah, and I picked y'all to beat Notre Dame. I'm not just hating on Clemson. I mean, you know how it is. When you do 100 preview videos, sometimes you got to reach for stuff. I mean, it just becomes boring if you just pick every team to go 8-4 if they're not any good and 11-1 if they are good.
Yeah. I know. I got you.
I notice he didn't deny the accusation of gaslighting the Tennessee employees.
He did deny it.
Yeah, I deny the Tennessee thing. I don't know where you get that from. I've got Tennessee. I haven't done a prediction video yet, but I'm going to have them at 9-3. So that's not gaslighting at all whenever their win total is 10. So that's fake news.
Boy.
On the Tennessee.
I heard you say there's a real possibility that they could be undefeated when they play Georgia.
Yeah, there is. There's a possibility Alabama can go 12-0, but they're not doing it. There's a possibility Miami can make a bowl game, but I mean, we're stretching the limits of reality here.
I like to look at Miami's schedule. How funny was it though? How funny was it that Phil Steele put Tennessee at 19? I mean, I don't know if he's got to be trolling, right?
I mean, everybody does it different, but Phil Steele's ranking is a prediction. That means he thinks Georgia is beating Clemson in the Natty.
Yeah, right. So it's not a where he thinks they are on July the 7th. It's where he thinks they're going to finish.
In the article in his magazine, he says his top 25 is a prediction of the end of season rankings. So that means he's got Georgia and Clemson in the Natty game.
Right.
That would be weird. We'd play twice in a row because we play week 1 next year.
Yeah. Where is that game next year? Is it in Georgia? Oh, it's another neutral site game. Yeah, because last time it was in Charlotte. I guess that was the home game for Clemson, and then this one's the home game for Georgia and Atlanta.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Same kind of thing with LSU and FSU doing the New Orleans and Orlando deal.
Yeah. I went to the one in Charlotte, which was, it was fun until the end. But I would love to go to the one in Atlanta too, honestly. But, for YouTube purposes, to miss being on YouTube that opening weekend, it's such a big matchup. I don't think I can do it.
Maybe if they had it on Monday night, I would go because that's the only game then I would miss streaming. But like if it's on Saturday, I'm probably not going to go. That's a
good point. If it's on a Monday, we should probably try to go together.
Yeah. Or Sunday. They have a Sunday night and a Monday night game every year, week 1.
Yeah.
So we'll see where they slot that one. But if it's that Sunday night or the Monday night game, then I would be willing to go to that. The room is looking good, by the way.
Oh yeah, thank you. It's not completely done yet. But it's almost there. It's almost there.
I can see you got plenty of running around room back there.
Yeah, I could do a cartwheel back there.
Yeah, you're gonna like that.
Yeah, it's great. It's It was a lot of work. It doesn't look like a lot of work. You're like, oh look, there's windows and some stuff hung on the wall, but that was the easy part. Believe me.
Yeah.
But it's something.
Matthew took the bet with me, Duke plus 14.
So he took the points.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know if I would do that, honestly.
Duke. They do have a good that quarterback. I didn't watch much Duke last year, but that quarterback had a good year last year for Duke. Riley Leonard or something his name is. He played good.
Yeah, he's good. And I actually, when David Cutcliffe left, I thought they were going to fall off the map. But it looks like the coach they have now is, he's one of these coaches though. He's not a David Cutcliffe type that's going to stay at Duke for 20 years or whatever. If he has any type of success at all and gets another job offer, he's young enough. I think he's going to get out the door. But for however long they have him, they should be a decent team in the conference anyway.
Yeah. I don't know if you watched that whole video or not. Did you know Cade Klubnik is 4th in the Heisman odds?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
That's wild too.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm and this isn't just a homer take. I'm really a lot higher on Clemson's offense than a lot of people are. Well, in comparison to the last 2 seasons.
Yeah. Well, I said too. I think I'm like you. I think that Garrett Riley was the best coordinator hire of the offseason.
Yeah, I think most people think that. And even the people that are criticizing Clemson as far as their record and all that say that. The only reason they're saying that is because it's Garrett Riley's first season at Clemson, not because they think that it's a bad hire. It's just because they think it's a new offense. It's going to take some time. But I'm not so sure that's true. I think that, and Dabo said this himself. He said as soon as the first day on the job for Garrett Riley, he came into the offensive meeting room, pulled out the playbook, which was basically 18 Bibles stacks together, and threw half of it in the trash, literally in the trash can, like Edward, in the garbage. And he said, "We're simplifying this. You guys have gotten way too difficult. You're outthinking yourselves, and so we're going to simplify it." So I'm not sure that it is going to take an entire season for Garrett Riley to get the offense rolling. I think if he simplifies it and just calls the right plays, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it counts as being higher on Miami's offense, but I don't think they can be any worse.
They've got their 7th coordinator in 2 years now, so we'll see.
If Tyler Van Dyke stays healthy, Miami's offense will be okay, I think.
I agree with you.
But they got to keep him healthy, and that offensive line is an issue.
That's an understatement.
And North Carolina's problem has been their defense, not their offense. I mean, Drake May is going to do what Drake May does. I mean, I know you lost. What was that? Were your 2 top receivers, didn't you, or just one of them?
Yeah, we lost our 2 top receivers. We got 2 really good transfers that I'm really high on in.
Where'd they come from?
Tez Walker was Kent State's leading receiver. He had like 1,200 yards in the MAC. And then Nate McCollum was Georgia Tech's best receiver last year.
Did y'all see what happened at Kent State?
Yeah, their entire team left.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
And all of them went Power 5. I'm pretty sure the quarterback went to UCLA, receiver went to Carolina and Penn State.
Head coach went to Colorado to run the offense.
Oh.
All the players left.
Are they going to have enough players to field a team?
The only one left at Kent State is Mark fucking Rogers.
Can they get Nick Saban to come back? That'll be his retirement.
I saw this morning you played that video of what's his name, Kangaroo Black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm somewhere between him and Lou on Alabama because I do think I think number one, Nick Saban's earned the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And number 2, a lot of the trash talk we're hearing about, especially the quarterback position, we heard a lot of the same things before Jalen Hurts became a quarterback.
Yeah, back when they had Derrick Henry and Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley.
Look,
I get that as well. That's why I said I'm somewhere between the 2 of y'all.
I don't know.
They won the national championship the year before Jalen Hurts got there.
Who?
Jake Coker, Alabama.
Yeah, 2015. But
yeah, that was against
Derrick
Clemson.
Henry, Julio Jones, and Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 9 first-round draft picks on defense or something like that.
Yeah.
Minka Fitzpatrick, Reuben Foster, all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know Kangaroo Black that well. I mean, I've seen some of his videos. You probably have seen a lot more than me. But gathering from just that little clip, I don't know exactly his style of the videos that he does. He's just an Alabama YouTuber, right? He's not covering other teams, right?
And he's not really a trash talker either. So that's not the best video to watch of his to try to get familiar with him. But he's a nice guy. I like him a lot.
But he's playing the whole, that nobody respects this card, which is just insane. There's nobody, unless you're just trolling, there's nobody out there that doesn't respect Alabama and Nick Saban. And he's acting like they're, like the most hated team. They're not. They're not even, I don't even think they're in the top 5 most hated teams in the country. Do you?
Most hated? Well,
yeah.
I don't know. They might be the most hated.
You think they're more hated than Ohio State? I don't.
Probably not. No.
No.
Not Ohio State.
No. I don't think anybody's more hated than Ohio State.
I mean, it's kind of like the Yankees and the Cowboys. Like, there's a lot of people that just hate the Yankees, just hate the Cowboys. There's always a lot of people that just hate Bama, too.
No, I understand. And the more you win, the more of that you get. And I mean, Clemson's they're not Bama. Don't say that, but they've gotten a little bit of that over the past 10 years. Because of how much they've won. And Georgia, of course, you see Georgia's definitely getting it now. They've won 2 back-to-back titles. But as far as the Kangaroo Black thing, he didn't really give any reasons about why everyone's wrong about Alabama in 2023. He's just saying that's because everyone hates them. Like, at least when I come on and say that I don't agree with people's criticism of Clemson, I'm giving you all the reasons about the offense and about Garrett Riley and about the defense and everything. He really didn't really say any of that. Well, I don't know. You didn't play the whole video, did you?
No, I kind of skipped around.
Yeah, okay. Maybe he did say something about that then. But I don't know.
People were telling me about it last night on the call-in show, and I didn't feel like doing a morning show this morning, so I just played music and then played his video and then called it quits.
Yeah.
It was a great show.
One for the record, please.
Well, I would like to thank you, though, personally, for turning me on to this video, because I haven't got the magazine yet. but I was painting yesterday in the studio, on my desk, and I was listening to the morning show and I heard that come up, and I wanted to comment so bad. I had paint all over my hands. I didn't want to get paint on my phone, so so I didn't say anything. But you brought that to my attention, and hopefully I'll have some fun with that tonight on the call-in show. So.
Oh, the Phil Steele thing with Clemson and Tennessee? Yeah. That's going to burn the ball man up.
Yeah.
I think I even said on the morning show, I was like, Pete needs to do something with this on his show because he's already got them.
Yeah, well, as soon as I saw what it was, I already planned on it, but then you did say it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know why, but I've been inadvertently trolling Tennessee fans all off-season, apparently. So I thought about just jumping headlong into that for the rest of the off-season.
Yeah, you should.
Because I don't even think they're going 9-3. I think Joe Milton is absolutely terrible. I think they lost even more offensive talent than North Carolina, and their defense is just as bad.
Well, didn't you hear that Joe Milton can throw the ball 90 yards in the air?
Yeah. It was all right.
So can Anthony Richardson.
Right.
Weren't there Tennessee fans saying he threw like a 105-mile-an-hour fastball, just saying some wild
Yeah,
stuff?
no, I think I read like 109. I was like, what, he's setting world records now? Come on.
He'd be in the major leagues if he threw 109.
Yeah, no shit.
Tennessee playing football.
Now, see, that's where actually, if they had kept Hyatt, it would have been great because I don't think anybody can overthrow him.
And Joe Milton will find a way.
Well,
And look,
unfortunately, he's gone. We can't conduct that.
I don't think Joe Milton's terrible, but he's not Hyatt.
He's not Hendon Hooker.
Hooker. I mean, Hooker.
The ACC man, Hendon Hooker.
You're right.
How is it he goes from, riding the pine in the ACC to Heisman candidate in the SEC?
Because did you see who he played for in the ACC? A terrible, terrible team.
That was before Virginia Tech was terrible.
Yeah, it was.
Not really. They've been terrible
They
for a
were winning
long
like
time.
8 games when he was there.
They won how many?
They were winning like 8 games a year when he was there.
Yeah. 8 games in the ACC is pretty terrible. In my opinion. Especially in that division, which we don't have to worry about that anymore. But in the Coastal Division, only winning 8 games is not good. How fast can Milton throw a golf ball? Yeah. I don't know.
I'm curious to see if Milton would win the mustard throw at the Slav Olympics.
I'm sure he would.
I'm not so sure.
Well, either him or Colby.
We may still have him.
Yeah? Maybe.
Colby was smart enough not to be a quarterback at Tennessee, so obviously he's already more intelligent.
Well,
Isn't Tennessee losing a bunch of their offensive line,
My
too?
kid's beeping in. I'm going to have to click off.
all right. See you later, buddy. Yeah, let's see.
Doesn't
Here.
Tennessee lose like a bunch of their offense? I'm pretty sure they lose a few offensive linemen, too.
Yeah. But for some reason, their defense is going to be exponentially better for reasons.
They didn't really do anything in the transfer portal either. Really.
I don't know. We got D. Taylor in here. He probably knows better than us. But how many of you guys read the Phil Steele list?
I don't think I've ever
I haven't read it yet, but I do read. I usually go through his magazine yearly.
Yeah, so let me hold on. I got to step away from the mic for just a second, and then I'm going to show you guys some of this stuff. And again, it's like Lou just said, this isn't a preseason prediction. It's what he thinks the season's going to end like. But still, even on top of that, there's some insane takes on here. So hold on. I'll be right back in just like 15 seconds.
All right, Slim, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I actually, just seeing the top 25 on there, I didn't think it was that insane. Like I said, could Tennessee win 8 games, end up in the top 25? Sure. And I think Florida State, like I said earlier, is going to be around the same. I think they're a house of cards waiting to fall.
Yeah, I don't get a lot of the Florida State hype. They won 9 games last year, and some of the teams that won 9 games aren't getting hyped like they are. I guess is how they finished.
Maybe.
It's like I made this comment before, but you know the Lizzo meme, it's put a shirt on versus empowering. That's Carolina's 9-3 versus Florida State's 9-3.
Well, I think some of it is brand name too. I mean, Miami gets hyped up because they're Miami, and I think there's some of that with Florida State as well.
Yeah, probably. And I guess them winning their bowl game helped, even though they played a terrible team.
Yeah, played a terrible team and did not look good at all.
Yeah. I'd still pick them to win like 8 games, though, but Florida State fan will call me a hater.
I think that's around where they are. And I get called a hater, and I flat out say, we play Florida State every year. I want Florida State to be good. Somebody teach Mike Norvell how to recruit, please.
He's been recruiting better this year, hasn't he? I haven't followed recruiting as closely as I usually have.
Well, he's looked good in June and July before, too, and we see how it's ended up.
Yeah, it looks like they're putting together a pretty good 2024 class. We'll see, though. Like you said, it's really difficult to judge in June, but...
I got told like 2 weeks ago that Mario Cristobal's terrible because in June they were ranked 26th or 28th or whatever it was.
All right, look at this. So he's got Georgia 1, which is not surprising. I think they're 1 on virtually everybody's list.
He's got him three-peat.
He's got him three-peating. He's got Clemson at 2. Well, now, even as a Clemson homer, I think this is a little bit of a stretch. I mean, nothing would make me happier that if Clemson were to make it back to a national championship, even if they lost. Hey, let me ask you guys a question. This brings up a good question. Not just the national championship, but at the playoffs as well. Would you rather make the national championship and lose it, or not make it at all? And the same for the playoffs.
Ooh.
It's a tough question, but I would rather make it and lose. Now,
Me too.
Yeah, I'd rather make it and lose.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how you lose. If I lose like TCU, I might rather not make it.
Well, that's not fun, but I do think, it's painful to lose any game, but it's certainly painful to lose when you're that close to winning it all,
I've dealt with it in the basketball side. It's terrible.
Yeah, but as far as what it does for your program as a whole, it really helps, especially in recruiting, and donor money and everything else. So I think making it is a good thing, even though it's painful to watch them lose. But anyway, he's got Clemson at 2. I would have them in the top 10 for sure.
I mean,
outside of Georgia, that doesn't even necessarily
right?
mean that they have Clemson losing the national title. I mean, because he may be thinking Clemson makes the Orange Bowl a New Year's Six and win it, and has them ranked higher than who loses the national title game.
They wouldn't rank them number 2. Usually the loser of the national title gets ranked number 2, unless like the number 1 team loses in the semifinals.
Yeah, I don't think they would have a non-playoff team finish number 2. But anyway,
outside of Georgia, though, is there one true lock to be great this year?
I'm high on Ohio State.
Like Ohio State and Alabama have new quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Clemson has a new quarterback. I think Notre Dame will be really good, but they're not a lot. So
right.
I think it's possible that Clemson's the second best team.
Yeah, Notre Dame's issue this year, they've got to play Clemson and Southern Cal. I think they'll lose to Southern Cal. But where is that game at? Does anybody know?
It was at Southern Cal last year, so
so it must be yeah. I don't know. I feel like that could they backdoor their way in without a conference championship game? I guess, but I think they're going to lose 2 games. So they're not getting into the playoffs with the 2 losses and no conference championship game. So
yeah, I don't think they're going to lose 2 games.
You don't think so?
I think it's very possible they go undefeated.
So you think they're going to win every game and then maybe split the Clemson and USC game one way or the other?
I could definitely see that. I think they could go undefeated, but
yeah,
they'll probably split
USC?
those 2.
Yeah.
No, USC's not going undefeated. And
I'm talking about Notre Dame.
Oh, okay. That's what I asked. I asked you talking about USC, and I'm like,
I don't think I don't think USC is going undefeated either, but I think they clearly have the best player in the country. I really think that Caleb Williams is the best quarterback in the country. And he's got...
See, I disagree. And this isn't just because Luke's sitting here, because I don't mind taking shots at Luke. I think Drake May's a better quarterback.
I think Drake May will be a better NFL quarterback, but Caleb Williams might be a better college quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know. Caleb Williams will be the first player taken in the draft. That's for sure.
He will be. Or
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah,
Well, it depends on next season.
Well, he's a big name for a reason, though. You know.
Still got a
And
full
I'm
year
not,
left.
don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he's trash. I just think Drake May's a little better.
I mean, Drake May would go number 1 in most drafts outside of this one.
All right, yeah, and don't get me wrong. Drake May will be taken in top 5 or 10 at the least, probably top 5. All right, Michigan at number 3. Look, I don't think there's a list in America that doesn't have Michigan. They've earned that top 5 status. Will they beat Ohio State this year? I tend to think no. I think that this is the year that Ohio State takes back that rivalry.
See, now Nate's going to call in tonight. He's going to be just.
Well, Alabama at 4. Of course, they're going to be in top 5 in anybody's thing until, Saban's. Well, as long as Saban's there, in my opinion, unless they have a terrible year this year. Which
If Alabama wasn't Alabama, where would they be ranked right now? Like if this roster was on.
Well, where
say,
are they?
Texas, where would they be ranked?
This isn't rankings, but where are they ranked?
You just said 4.
But, these aren't rankings. These are projections for the end of the year.
I'm saying if they weren't Alabama, where do you think you would project them to be?
You based on the roster?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, they are, and they have the most talented roster in the country.
Yeah, I was
It's
gonna
not
say.
particularly close.
I don't see any situation where you can't have
Do they
them.
have more talent than Georgia? I'm
Yes.
pretty sure that's
According
close.
to the recruiting rankings, they do.
I'm pretty sure it's close, but they might.
Statistically, they do. On paper, but that doesn't always mean anything. 5 Ohio State. Yeah, I would have them up towards 2 or 3. I'd probably switch Clemson and Ohio State. Actually, I'd put Ohio State ahead of Clemson. As much as it pains me to say that, they're going to be good. They got the best wide receiver in the country. It's not even close. Let's see
New
here.
quarterback again, though.
Yeah.
And they were another team trying to buy Drake May, so they weren't too happy with
And
the
I'm still
quarterback
not
situation.
particularly sold on Ryan Day, the head coach, either. I mean, 'cause
Starting to
he's
sound like Ohio State fans.
to underachieve.
I think I'm high. I think I'm higher on Ryan Day than Ohio State fans are. They're about. Well, I mean, first of all, Ohio State fans are spoiled. I think they have ridiculous expectations because of who they are, the name, and there's nothing wrong with that, I guess. But Ryan Day's a pretty damn good coach. I mean, I don't know what people like. Who are you going to replace Ryan Day with at Ohio State that's better than Ryan Day? That's what I want to know.
Well, and it could be, similar to what I said about Mario. The expectations put on him so soon very well may be a little unfair. Because I think basically from Mario's first year at Oregon, he was picked to make the playoffs, and I mean, people forget that was his first Power 5 head coaching job.
Yeah. This is interesting. Penn State at 6. So he believes that there's going to be 3 Big Ten teams finish in the top 6. I don't know about that. Especially since
It'll be really good this year.
all 3 of those teams play each other.
They'll probably upgrade at quarterback without Sean Clifford.
See, I want to know how that division of the Big Ten is going to shape out, because I think between Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan, you're going to end up with a round robin between those 3.
Imagine if they all beat each other, how wild that would be.
Because I think Penn State's going to be, their defense is going to be good. Their offense is going to hinge on that quarterback.
Yeah, a lot of people are high on Penn State, and a lot of people picking them to make the playoffs and win the Big Ten even.
I'd like to see it for them. I got nothing against
Yeah.
Penn State.
No, I don't either. I mean, I wouldn't have any reason to. They have,
I got no hate for Manny Diaz. I think he's a great D coordinator. I think he wasn't, like I just said about Mario. I mean, this is the calling card of the Miami fan base. They put unrealistic expectations on him.
Yeah, I think probably everybody who's not a fan of one of those three teams is probably rooting for Penn State, just for the parity of it in the Big Ten. Yeah.
Give me something different to look at.
Right. Just like people that don't care about the ACC are rooting for Florida State because they're tired of seeing Clemson win the ACC virtually every year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Florida State's never won the ACC before.
What?
We're talking about
they're rooting for Florida State as if they've never won the ACC before. How about Miami get their shit together and win it?
Well, they haven't won it in like 7 years. So I mean that's a while.
Yeah, cry me a river, Florida State fans.
7 USC. I think that's about right. All right. So nothing crazy so far, really. I mean, really, the craziest thing so far is I think Clemson at 2. Really.
I don't even think that's all
That's
that
not
crazy,
that crazy.
to be perfectly honest with you.
8 Florida State. Now I know you disagree with that, Slim.
That's a little crazy.
It's a little high. I'd have them around.
I think they'll still be in the top 25. Like I said, they're going to win around 8 or 9 games. Maybe have a 10th if they win a bowl game. So, I don't think being outside of the top 15-ish is out of the realm of possibility.
All right. 9 LSU. Man, that's another one. I forgot to add them on too. LSU fans need to call in tonight too, because those were the two main fan bases that were up in arms about me saying that Clemson would be top 3 in the SEC. And of course, I mean, the assumption is that the top 2 teams in the SEC right now are Alabama and Georgia, right? So they automatically took that as a slight against them, against LSU and Tennessee. And of course, I did mention both LSU and Tennessee, so I guess why that's why I thought that. But so. According to Phil Steele, he has Clemson 7 spots at the end of the season ahead of LSU, and a good 17 spots against we're higher than Tennessee. So, number 10 Notre Dame. This is probably going to be the most watched and anticipated Notre Dame team in some time, and not that they are not watched year in year out just because of their brand, but I think the expectation as far as getting Sam Hartman in there and Marcus Freeman going into his 2nd season as head coach, I think there's going to be a lot more eyeballs really watching them than normal, even though a lot do normally.
It's funny because you don't think about it, but Sam Hartman probably has worse weapons at Notre Dame than he did at Wake Forest.
Yeah,
which is kind of crazy to think about.
Well, one thing is for sure, he's never played with an offensive line like he's going to play with at Notre Dame.
Yeah, the receivers, Wake Forest is probably on a different level than Notre Dame.
You think so?
At least when he was there.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
I don't know.
When was the last time somebody was scared of any skill position player at Notre Dame since Rocket Ishmael?
A.T. Perry and Donovan Green were 2 NFL guys.
Ghost Striker. Yeah, I don't know. You're certainly not blocked. I don't know. YouTube's been acting funny with the comments lately. I don't know what's going on with it. But sometimes if you make a comment, and this has happened to me on other people's shows, it takes normally it goes in right away. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it takes 15 or 20 seconds for the comment to pop up, and I don't know why. Have you guys noticed that?
Ever since they moved, how
they moved the chat.
The live chat button. It's ever since they did that.
Yeah, why did they do that?
And why did they keep the original live chat button there?
Because YouTube fixes problems that don't exist. And they piss everybody off when they do it.
There was absolutely nothing wrong with the live chat button. And they went and messed with it. There was nothing wrong with it.
YouTube continuously does this.
It annoys me more that they left the original live chat button there and it just doesn't work.
Right. Yeah. And so you push the live chat button and now it tells you all. And here's the other thing too. It doesn't tell you where it moved to. It just tells you it moved. So now you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's just weird.
Yeah. You know what? Rumble's seeming like a better and better idea every day.
Yeah. No. They got a long way to go.
On Threads yet? By the way, speaking of new platforms.
What?
Threads, and Instagram's version of Twitter now.
No, never even.
Oh, yeah, Instagram trying to put Twitter out of business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it until now. Huh.
It's rough right now, but it'll probably be just as good as Twitter in a few months.
You think so?
I mean, they just hired the employees that Twitter fired once Elon got hired.
Oh, God.
I'm just going to continue to stay off of all of it. Like I
And there's no rate limit, so it's already almost as good.
What do you mean no rate limit? What does that mean?
You don't remember the Twitter rate limits? Or did you never face them? Elon limited the amount of tweets you can view in a day.
Oh. Yeah, he said something about I think somebody said 300 was the max.
It was 600 if you don't pay and 6,000 if you do.
600. I don't view 600 tweets.
You'd be surprised.
I don't view 600 tweets.
It's not. I mean, I get it. I get people complaining about it, but let's be perfectly honest. It's not a terrible idea to go, hey, fucker, you've spent enough time on Twitter. Go do something else.
It's not a terrible idea for the humanity, but for selling sponsors and ads, limiting how many people can view them isn't the greatest idea.
Well, what he's doing, he keeps doing things to push people to pay for the verification. The Twitter blue.
Pushing them away from Twitter, not towards paying for it.
Well, that's what he's doing. I mean, so many people that weren't verified before are really willing to pay the whatever. How much is it now? Like $10? I don't know.
It's $10.
I've heard $8 or $10. Yeah.
Whatever it
used
is.
to be 8. I think it's 10 now.
People are willing to pay it to get their tweets seen because he's basically those are promoted tweets. Otherwise, like when I go on there and tweet, I'm not paying for anything yet, and nobody sees it really unless they're following me. But nobody new will see it, so it's hard to get new followers when nobody new is seeing your tweets. So that's the reason he's doing that, and people are basically willing to pay for it to grow their followers. And then when you have the people like me who are content creators, he's made it to now where you can upload long form videos, which is huge. Something you couldn't do before unless you were. I think.
Isn't Tucker doing his show on Twitter now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Do people still watch that? Yeah.
He had whatever it was, 80 million views on his last show on there. So yeah.
Oh God.
80 million, as opposed to I don't know how many he was the number one viewed person on all of cable news when he was doing his show on there on Fox, but that was only like 6 million per episode. Now he's getting up close to 100 million views per episode. That's ridiculous numbers.
How many of those do you think people hate
that's
watching?
Joe Rogan numbers.
It doesn't matter if they're hate watching. They're watching.
It doesn't matter. I'm just saying. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, but I'm probably going to end up buying that thing just for the season at least and see how it goes. Because if I can get viewers to drive the viewers to my YouTube channel from Twitter by watching my videos on Twitter as well as YouTube, then it's worth $10 a month to me for 4 months. It just is. But
and I may have said this to you before, but I'm surprised more people don't. Like, I know you can like live stream to multiple of these social media sites at once. I'm surprised more people don't do that.
Yeah, I know a lot of people do it to Facebook and Instagram. I'm not on either one of those platforms, and I don't plan to be. But if I can simulcast,
You had a PigskinPeete Facebook.
Huh?
You had a Pigskin.
I did have one, and they took it down.
Yeah, they got me and you both for the same thing.
Yeah. So, as Raj would say, hey, Facebook.
Yeah, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah. So, you got no interest in that. But if I can
I think you got the same email as me saying they wanted an ID that said PigskinPeete.
Yeah. Now there is some avenue you can go through to have an alias on there, but I'm not jumping through 18 different hoops and shit to have PigskinPeete on Facebook. Just not doing it. So, anyway. Where are we at? Okay, Notre Dame at 10. It still hasn't gotten really crazy yet. 11 Texas. Now, I think I'm higher on Texas than most people. I think Texas is a dark horse to make the playoffs. I'm not saying that they're not in my top 4 right now as a preseason to make the playoffs, but I think they should be the overwhelming favorite to win the Big 12. And so it's really just going to...
Which should automatically make them a dark horse to make the playoffs.
Right. The question is, how many losses will they have even if they're a conference champion? That's the real question.
Don't they play Alabama this year again?
Yeah, they play, I think it's week...
In Alabama?
Yeah, it's in Tuscaloosa this year. I don't know, it's week 2 maybe?
Yeah, unfortunately it's week 2, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm biting some stees off my game because I think Miami Texas A&M week 2 is pretty much going to determine Miami's season.
Yeah, I think Texas could have a really good year this year. They really, because they go to the SEC starting next season, right? 2024.
Yeah, I think so.
They are clearly the best team in the Big 12 in 2023. I mean, this is one of the first times
by default.
Kind of by default.
I mean, I would have said that last year, but I'd have been wrong.
Well, Ewers was hurt for a lot of the season.
Well, yeah, it did work out that way.
Ewers also was kind of mediocre most of the season.
Because he was hurt. I mean,
when he played, he was mediocre.
Yeah, but
it's like the people talking about Tyler Van Dyke's terrible because his numbers weren't good last year. He spent half the season injured.
That's what I'm saying. Is you keep saying when he played, but he was playing injured most of the season. That's what I'm saying. He wasn't 100%. When he was 100% was the first half of that Alabama game till he got hurt, and that's really that was the turning point for him. He was playing lights out against Alabama, and then he got hurt, and then he was just really never the same after that game. He looked 100% after that. But if he's 100% this year, offensively they're loaded. I don't know about their defense. Maybe some Texas fans are in here can tell me more about the defense. I don't know, but I expect.
For an offensive guy, I would say his defense is better than Lincoln Riley's or Lane Kiffin's.
Yeah, I would agree.
Pick up on those two.
Yeah, I would agree.
Vic is in the back.
Okay. No, he's not.
He's been in the private chat.
Well, he's not in the back now. Vic, if you want to come on, I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at the StreamYard. I've been looking at this article here. Let me know when he comes back there again, and I'll bring him on.
Yeah.
All right. Now look at this here. Number 12, Texas A&M.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
But hold on. This is rinse and repeat. This is every year, and every year it's the same thing. People are high on Texas A&M because look how they recruit. They've been recruiting that way for a long time. They've been recruiting that way for the past 3 coaches.
Well,
and it's always the same result.
You can make the argument this year that, he did bring in Petrino, who, nobody's going to knock a Petrino offense.
Vic is back.
But how much of those reins is Jimbo really going to give up to Petrino? That's what's up in the air.
Well, look, I have zero confidence that Jimbo is going to completely turn the keys over to Petrino.
Louisville was also a dumpster fire when Petrino was there at the end.
Well, yeah. Well, Petrino's a dumpster fire in a lot of ways, but I think he's a good offensive play caller.
He'll have to if he knows what's good for him. So.
He definitely doesn't have Lamar Jackson, so we'll see.
Jimbo Fisher is an offensive guy, and I just don't see him just hiring Petrino and being like, "This is your offense. You do everything." Jimbo's going to have his grubby little fingers in there, and his offense is so outdated at this point. It's not even funny. He's sort of got the Les Miles syndrome. Where
Les Miles was about 30 years behind Jimbo, but
yeah.
Apparently, Les Miles is also embezzling money to get recruits.
Jimbo runs a very complicated pro style of offense that works whenever you have a Jameis Winston and a bunch of NFL running backs and wide receivers and offensive line, the whole thing.
2013.
Yeah, but a lot's changed in 10 years.
So he doesn't have NFL running backs or wide receivers?
I didn't say that. Does he have a Jameis Winston?
No.
Yeah, it requires a Jameis Winston to run that kind of offense.
Requires Jameis Winston, that's right.
a Jameis Winston, somebody comparable to him. People say what they want to about Jameis Winston in the pros. He's been one of the best quarterbacks in the past 2 decades.
Jameis Winston was an okay pro.
Yeah, you need someone who can throw 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions, right?
I'm about to say, if you take away the interceptions, I mean,
If you took away the interceptions for that year, he had an amazing year. He threw for like 5,000
yeah,
yards.
he did. They had the number 2 offense behind Kansas City that year.
And then that was funny. That his last pass as a Buck was a pick 6.
Anyway,
Wasn't his first start against the Bucks, he threw a pick on the first pass or something like that?
No, he threw the first play I remember seeing him in was the second game of 2020, and they put him in on a trick play they stole from the Bears, and he threw a touchdown.
now this is the most interesting one so far. Wisconsin at 13.
Really?
Yeah. Now I know it's because Luke Fickell went there, but all I keep hearing is, it takes a coach a couple of years to make the turnaround with the roster that they're given. I don't know what's the situation with Wisconsin and transfers. They had to have had some people transfer out, and maybe he brought some people in. I don't know, but is it because it's the Big Ten West?
I guess you
I was
believe
about
a
to
lot
say,
in
look
Phil
before the last couple of years, and Wisconsin was basically sleepwalking to 10 wins a year.
Yeah, in the Big Ten West. Maybe that's what it is.
I mean, they're going to be playing a different style of football. Look at who they hired on offense.
Right.
They're not going to be running it down your throat. They're going to be throwing.
That's my point. Doesn't it take a few years to get your style of player in there? Because Wisconsin has not been recruiting this style of offensive players for a long time.
I'm excited to see Phil Longo without elite offensive talent.
Did he bring anyone with him from Cincinnati?
You mean players?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would assume that probably some of the recruits that were going to go play for him at Cincinnati probably flipped to Wisconsin, but I don't know for sure.
They got the quarterback from SMU.
And I tend to agree with your point that it takes a couple of years too. That's why I'm not all that high on Miami again, because they, swapped offensive coordinators again.
I mean, when Phil Longo came to Carolina, we were a good offense his first year, but we also had really good talent. Because Larry Fedora could recruit offense, if anything.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they were terrible, TB. I don't think I never said that. I'm just saying it's a totally different style of play. I mean, for instance, I know they have like an elite offensive line every year, but it's a run blocking offensive line. Pass blocking is a different story. So can they do that? Maybe they can. I don't know.
They do still have Braylon Allen, so they'll probably run the ball.
And also, I would like to know who they what they have at receiver.
Well, and to your point about Garrett Riley earlier, a lot of people, just because of who comes in, a lot of people assume things are going to be one way. And I'll use, Miami as an example again. Everybody's assuming that, this guy is under Dana Holgorsen. This guy's been under Mike Leach. It's going to be an air raid offense. But all he's talking about so far this offseason is how well Miami's going to run the ball this year.
Yeah. I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that they're in the Big Ten West. And I mean, who's a real threat in that division of the Big Ten?
Illinois.
Yeah.
I mean, there hasn't really been a threat the past couple of years, and that hasn't stopped all the teams from being mediocre.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, or Iowa. Yeah.
I know the big one that everyone's talking about is Nebraska. With Matt Rule and man, stop. Talk about someone that's going to need a few years. It'll be Matt Rule. 14 Washington. I feel like they might be a little bit underrated in this, although
Wisconsin above Washington. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Underrated.
I'd put Washington's probably somewhere around 10. But that's it's not that big of a difference. So they have Washington ahead of Oregon. So the next is on the list is 15 Oregon. So Phil Steele clearly thinks that Washington's going to beat Oregon head to head. Otherwise, he wouldn't have them ranked that way.
Wisconsin over Oregon too, right?
I'm I'm not sure if I agree with that. I'd have Oregon a little higher.
Yeah.
Why is Wisconsin over all these teams? I can't get over that.
Wait. You haven't seen the craziest yet. Just let me keep going. We're about to get there. Now another team. So you have 3 Pac-12 teams in a row here. You have Washington at 14, Utah. Oregon at 15, Utah at 16.
Wisconsin's not better than Utah either. Wisconsin's not better than North Carolina. Where's Carolina?
Just wait. You're about to lose your mind in a second. Let's move on to 17. Iowa.
Oh, my God. You know how bad North Carolina defense is? That's how bad Iowa's offense
Iowa is a complete and total mess right now. I know, look, I know the people out there that they're going to tell me, well, they have a great defense, Pete. All right, that's great. If you can't score more than 7 points in a game, you can't be. I don't care how you could have the 1985 Bears defense out there. You're not winning in college football scoring 7 points in a game. And guess what? Unlike Dabo Swinney, who saw the offense trending in the wrong direction, fired a good friend of his and a longtime Clemson Tiger and staffer in Brandon Streeter. Guess who didn't fire their offensive coordinator? That's right, Kirk Ferentz. He didn't fire his son.
They wouldn't fire
He's still
his son.
there.
That's why you shouldn't hire your son.
Them believing in Cade McNamara, I guess, who got benched at Michigan.
Well, that's
Cade McNamara. Jesus
That's
Christ.
why you hire your son.
Yeah, that's why you don't hire your son.
If
But
we could figure out a way to transfer Iowa's defense to North Carolina, you
That'd be
may have the best team in the country.
Yeah.
I know that Ferentz is like a legend in Iowa, and he's done great things and all this stuff. People love him there, right? He's like freaking Elvis in Des Moines. But look, I think it's time for him to go. It's time to hang it up, man. He's clearly shown that he's just riding the wave of his previous success. At this point, he's just riding it out.
They've had like 2 head coaches in 50 years.
All right, well, maybe it's time for them to have a third.
Yeah. Thank you, Vic.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just saying Iowa as a program seems to.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's insane. But the best part about this isn't the fact that he has Iowa at 17, which is ridiculous. But look who's behind them. 18 Oregon State. All right, so that's not crazy, right? You got the ukulele there. A lot of people think they're going to be really good this year. They had a great season last year, but there's still a lot to be learned if Oregon State can sustain that expectation.
Very disrespected right now.
LCU's 19.
19. Hold on, where's my thing?
Yep, I already know what it is.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
That's so dumb. That Tennessee.
Man, can we just take a let's take a look at the list of teams all ranked ahead of Tennessee by the end of 2023, according to Phil Steele. You've got Oregon State better than Tennessee, Iowa Hawkeyes better than Tennessee. Well, some of these I believe are true. Utah, Oregon. Wisconsin.
I was right on par with Tennessee. I mean,
A&M.
have a football team.
On par.
The disrespect to put A&M ahead of Tennessee.
Tennessee's defense is better than Iowa's offense. Come on, son.
Yes, but I mean, Iowa's defense is equivalent to Tennessee's offense last year.
Oh, that's funny. Then you get to 20, Oklahoma. Man,
where's North Carolina ranked?
Well, there you go, 21.
It's disrespectful.
Here's what it says. When you have a quarterback as talented as potential number 1 overall pick Drake May, anything is possible.
Higher than 21.
Despite the Tar Heels losing several starters offseason, ACC runner-up squad Steele is giving Black Brown's team the benefit of the doubt
What?
Well, wait. Didn't North Carolina finish unranked last year?
I think so, yeah. But
He's got him finishing ranked this year.
The benefit of the doubt.
21st on Wisconsin, Iowa, Oregon.
But don't worry, Luke. You finished one spot ahead of Toledo, so congratulations. I still haven't seen Miami on here.
And nor should you.
Yeah.
And I guess how's that?
Now, granted, as much as I say that,
but yeah.
As much as I say that, to me, Miami's a complete wild card. I think they're going to have a better record than they did last year. I think most people would agree with that.
That's not very hard to do.
Where exactly, though, is where it gets a little harder for me to pin down. I mean, it could be anywhere from 7-5 to. I mean, they've got the talent to win 10 games. I don't necessarily think they're going to, but they have that talent.
What are we doing the Miami schedule preview on the ACC show, by the way?
Yeah.
Are you making a request to do that this coming Tuesday? We can do that.
If Slim is there, we should do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I should be. I mean,
And
all right.
sometimes crap
I
happens.
think True Seminoles trying to come in.
Oh, yes. All right, hold on.
Oh, come on, come on here
Well,
and cry,
Baylor.
Seminole man.
Yeah, there's Baylor, man. But,
Baylor. I don't see True Seminole. We got Scott Kerr in here though. Now it's full.
I guess he gave.
He just came in to put that.
Oh, okay. Or maybe you just came in to put that. This you sweeps the ACC.
Anyway, so I'm just going to do the top 25. So we got Toledo 22, 23 Pittsburgh. I'm actually a believer in Pitt. We already went over this on the ACC show. I think they're going to be pretty good. 24 UTSA. The hell is going on here?
Yeah, they got a really good coach.
Top 25 though?
Yeah, they've been good.
Yeah, okay. And 25 TCU. So there you go. There's the Phil Steele list.
TCU at 25?
Yeah.
No.
When they were in the Natty with Georgia last year?
Well,
That's crazy.
but they lost their Heisman caliber quarterback and they lost their offensive coordinator. So
Okay.
yeah, that's why.
Did they drop
I mean,
that far? I mean, seriously, did they drop to 25?
and I believe that they lost their top receiver too to the NFL. So they're going back to what TCU normally is, I think.
Well, shit, they just need to close the doors. They need to just get rid of the program then.
He's mistreating Kansas State.
Yeah, Kansas State not ranked. Yeah.
Yeah, Kansas State and Texas A&M need to switch places.
Duggan was the backup.
Texas A&M being ranked above Carolina. That's crazy too.
Duggan was the backup, but he was a Heisman finalist.
A&M shouldn't even be sniffing the top 25.
Yeah, I don't know. But they should probably be considered in the top 25, but I don't think where they were ranked was correct.
Wait a minute. If in your opinion A&M should be ranked in the top 25, so should Miami.
Yeah, they
Basically.
Yeah.
They have the same record. They have fairly equivalent talent levels.
That reminds me, we didn't see Oklahoma State. Let's think of some of the teams we didn't see on that list. We didn't see Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State's down bad.
We didn't see Miami.
Nope.
NC State, we didn't see.
Well, yeah,
Duke's a top 25 level team.
Duke is they
are they though?
Yes,
Are
they are.
are they really?
They're better than UTSA and Oklahoma.
Yeah, Duke is beating Clemson though.
I've heard that somebody has Duke winning week 1.
Well, two people do: Uncle Lou and Josh Pate.
And I don't think I'd be willing to bet neither one of them are willing to put $1 on that prediction.
Well, I already put the challenge up to Lou. He didn't take it. He said he said if he was going to bet me against the money line, which means the winner, not against the spread, that he wanted me to pay out money line money if I lost, which is probably like I don't even know how much. It's probably 6 times. It's probably plus 600 or something. I don't know what it is. I'm not doing that. I'm not Vegas. But he did take the bet. Mayhem Matthew bet him that Clemson would cover the 14 points against Duke on the road.
It's not 14. It's actually 12 is the odds.
Maybe it was 14. I don't know if it changed.
Matthew gave him better odds. That's funny.
He did?
Apparently, he said 14.
I think it opened at 14. It might have moved. I don't know. It might have moved to 12. I don't know.
Because I looked at the odds when you guys were talking about it in the first hour.
Was Lou gonna offer double the money on bets this year like he did last year, or?
I don't know. No. But there's nobody willing to bet me that Duke loses. I mean, that Duke beats Clemson outright. Nobody's willing to do that. Anybody's going to either want the points or some sort of money line. And so
I've heard a lot of people tell me that my bet with Sea-Dog and Rec is crazy, but nobody else wants to get in on that.
Did anybody say that's crazy?
What was the bet?
I gave them both the parlay bet. Remember that Miami will make
the
game and Georgia Tech won't.
Well, the only reason it's crazy is because you didn't need to do that. I made the same bet, but I just got it just the record. I didn't have to throw something else in there that might not go in my favor.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, do you think it would be at all even a mild shock if Miami made a bowl game?
I think Miami will make the tax relief bowl. That's my prediction.
Tax player.
Fuck you, Scott.
All right, Casey says he'll take the bet just for fun. That's fine if you want. I don't know if you want to.
Bowl game. What are you talking about, Slim?
Yeah, Miami can go to the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Casey, if you just want to do like $20 or something, I mean, whatever you want to do.
We'll probably go to like the Relieve Yourself Bowl.
Are gonna be mayor.
Might take the first half money line. Yeah, even as much as I love to bet on college football, I don't even do that crazy shit. First half stuff. That's just I can't. That's too much.
You take the over in the first quarter.
Yeah.
You know, when we're so close to being football season coming up, have you noticed that the fan base, and I'm not talking about one particular fan base, but many fan bases, start having temper tantrums and hissy fits?
Yeah.
Well, and I called Uncle Lou out on that the other day because he did that video talking about teams that in the 90s that won national titles and are never doing it again. And I was like, sir, I get it. I said, you're itching for content. It's the off season. But Miami fans are hibernating. Leave them the fuck alone. Do us all.
When do Miami fans come out of hibernation? This is the best time of year.
Hopefully they stay there for a while.
Well, those Miami fans, those people in Miami are a little bit old, aren't they, Slim? Just a little bit aged.
Yeah, I never even really. I saw that video you're talking about. I agree with him in principle. Here's what I disagree with. I disagree with he's using a very, very tough metric to measure. He's saying for the rest of his life that none of those teams are going to win a national championship.
Well, I don't even agree with him in principle because people said the same thing about Georgia because they didn't win one for 40 years.
And the same thing about Clemson. And so that's where I disagree with him. 40 years, let's say, whatever, he lives to be 80, 70, 30, 40 years. That's a long time.
Let's
put it this way. If he were to come out and say over the next decade, none of these teams are going to win a national championship, I can kind of get on board with that. But to say for ever or for the rest of his life, I disagree with that.
I would actually take a bet that says Miami wins a national title in the next decade.
You would.
Cristobal's contract.
You would.
Slim, you hear about the two old Miami guys are sitting in a senior living center and they're watching a football game, and an old woman runs right in front of the TV, pulls up the dress and says, "Super pussy." And one of the old men turns to the other and says, "I think I'm going to have the soup."
Well, I mean, Pete, do you think it's not plausible that Mario probably wins a national title within his first contract?
How long is his contract?
How long?
I mean, his first contract's 10 years. He's got 9 left on it.
It is very plausible that he doesn't win.
It's also possible that he gets fired before his contract is up and bought out.
Yeah.
I think that's less likely at Miami.
Probably.
Considering how historically cheap they are.
Yeah, I don't see that they're within. Yeah, if they do win a national championship, 10 years is about the number, so it'd be very close to that. But I don't see it happen the next. I don't know. I would bet against you. I would bet against Miami winning a title in the next 10 years.
I mean, they want.
Well, see, I don't, because within that next 10 years, things are going to get out of his way. Kirby Smart is going to end up taking an NFL job.
No.
Nick Saban.
Oh, no, he's not. No, he is.
What makes you think that?
No.
Because everybody takes an NFL job.
No, they don't.
Kirby's going to be there like Vince Dooley was there for him.
No.
Stop it.
Yeah, he is.
Kirby's not going to the NFL.
Yeah, the NFL is not going to offer enough money for him.
Biased opinion. Both of y'all are a biased opinion, so we'll take a neutral third opinion here, which is mine.
Well, I'm a neutral.
Your damn neutral third opinion.
I'm a neutral fourth opinion, and I don't think that Kirby Smart's going to the NFL.
No, hell no.
I think he'll stick his toe in it.
No, he will not.
Why would you? Like, this is the same thing.
He's got it. He's killing it with the nannies, and he's going to stay there. He's going to be a legacy.
The NFL won't be able to afford Kirby Smart.
That's exactly right, Pete. They will not.
No, they don't pay. They don't pay the way the college does. Not at that. Not the top 4 or 5 paid coaches. The NFL doesn't pay that much.
No, they don't. And you know that the work schedule of the NFL's crazier than it is with the college. And I think Kirby wants to have at least to have a life too.
No, it's not. The college schedule's harder than the NFL schedules, coach.
Yeah.
You don't have the recruiting.
You don't have to recruit in the NFL.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't have to recruit in the NFL. You're right about that, but they work in 80-hour, 90-hour days. 90-hour schedules.
Yeah.
You know.
So it's 6 one, half dozen the other. You don't have the year-round recruiting like college does, but you during the season you do. First of all, the season's a lot longer, and there's not restrictions on practice hours and all that kind of shit like there is in college.
And the longevity of an NFL coach versus the longevity of a college coach. If you're a good coach, they don't last a long time in the NFL. They're going from jumping one team to the other. Now they rotate around, but they go like you see the same coaches might be in the NFL, but they had to rotate to another team.
The good ones stay at the one team forever.
No, they won't. And Kirby has the ability and to stay as a legacy at Georgia. No, he's not going to the NFL.
Well, I'm older than 5 minutes old, and I've seen plenty of coaches that people said, "Oh, Steve Spurrier's never going to the NFL. Oh, Nick Saban's never going to the NFL. This person, that person, they all go to the NFL."
Slim, Spurrier's an exception. Okay, have you ever read Have you ever read the article called "The Brat" about Steve Spurrier? Have you? No, you probably have not. I highly recommend you read that article about Steve Spurrier, because Steve Spurrier is an maniacal, narcissist, gaping asshole is what he is.
And
let me finish, Slim.
If you think Kirby Smart isn't, you're delusional and naive.
Well, he's not like Spurrier by any means.
Yeah.
He may not be Spurrier level, but he is the same.
Yeah.
Of course he's going to have an ego. For God's sakes, but Spurrier, it was all about, hey, I'm going to go coach Washington. I'm going to do really well. I'm going to sling it around up in Washington. And he didn't do shit in the NFL. And you know that. He didn't do jack shit. Don't compare Spurrier to Kirby Smart.
Okay.
That's apples and them oranges. And you know it.
At the end of the day, the number of these great college coaches that decide to stay in college and never go to the NFL is much fewer than the ones that do at least dip their toe in the NFL for a few years.
Okay, so why is he gonna go? Would he go?
Because everybody else does, and Kirby's no different.
Everybody else does.
Everybody else doesn't.
That's right.
Okay, name the ones that don't.
Jimbo Fisher, Lincoln Riley.
Dabo.
The only reason Urban
Riley so far.
The only reason Urban Meyer did is because he was done. He was never going back to college football again. So if he wanted to coach anywhere, it had to be the NFL, and that turned out to be a disaster anyway.
Now he's never going
The Bobby Bowdens, the Joe Paternos, the Tom Osbornes that never even attempt to go to the NFL.
Oh yeah, there's one main one I forgot. Dabo Swinney.
Yeah, I think.
Yep.
I think.
Never gone to the NFL and won't. And that's all I've been hearing since 2015 is that Dabo's got one foot out the door, Pete. He's going to go in the NFL, and I've been telling everybody they're stupid for saying that.
Listen to Dabo every year. He's got one foot out the door. I'm
No.
going to go somewhere else if y'all don't like it.
Yeah, but he's never said anything about the NFL. As a matter of fact, he said the opposite. What he says is his entire goal in life outside of winning football games is to mold young people. You don't do that in the NFL. You do that in college.
Right.
No, I don't disagree with you. And Dabo may be that exception. And very well, Kirby may be. All I'm saying is, if you go by the numbers, chances are Kirby and Dabo will end up in the NFL.
Yeah. Well, I'll take a bet on that if you want to. You want to do a 5-year? Let's say 5 years. One of them goes to the NFL. I'll bet you $100 right now, Slim.
Okay, in the next 5 years, why not?
Okay. All right. Now I may be dead by then, but
You have to put the money up right now.
But hey, you know what? If you do die, Scott, I will find out where you're buried, and I'll come put it on your grave.
Thank you, Slim. That's very kind of you.
You have to put the money up right now, because
I'm ready to put the money up. I'll put the money up.
I mean, we can if you want. I think Scott's trustworthy.
I trust you. You trust me. Okay, there we go.
Out of all those coaches that we just named, I think the most likely to take a head coaching position in the NFL would be Lincoln Riley.
Yep.
And
I agree with that.
I could definitely see that. Yeah.
Because Lincoln, you know what? Even the Ole Miss coach,
Lane Kiffin. Yeah, he's already done that though, hadn't he?
Yeah, Kiffin did go to the NFL.
Yeah, he coached for the Raiders, didn't he? He was terrible.
Yeah, that's right. He did. You're right.
Yeah,
well, see, I think it may even benefit Riley because he can bring his offense, and he doesn't even have to worry about defense, and it can be taken care of by somebody else.
Well, Riley's a young guy too, and they need a lot of young guys in the NFL coaching.
Well, if he goes on,
like I said, it's a rotating circle of coaches in the NFL. They go from one team to the other.
If he goes on, it's only going to get tougher for him going to the Big Ten. If he goes on for another 5 years without a national championship, I could see him leaving. But I mean, I don't know. They gave him a ridiculous contract at Southern Cal, so I think he's going to be stayed put there for at least another 4 or 5 years. And not only did they pay him a bunch of money, but they bought him. Didn't they buy him 2 houses, like a $7 million house and a $3 million house or something?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Well, they have to live in that shithole of a state, California now.
So why are they giving him two houses?
Well, they gave him one house in the city, his main house, and I think they bought him like a beach house in Malibu or some shit like that.
I think the other one's in Malibu.
Yeah.
One for his wife and kids, and one for the whores. That's what he asked for.
Does he want to?
Sorry, that's my dog's doorbell ringing. Sorry.
So I mean, is Lincoln Riley married though?
I'm sure.
Sir, since when does that matter?
Because they want wife and kids, so I was just asking if.
Hey, wasn't Hugh Freeze married too when he was banging all those hookers in Florida?
So, asking if he had a wife and kids.
Yeah, he does. I think so.
Urban Meyer was married too when that waitress was sitting on his lap.
Yeah.
And he was doing some taint squeezing there. He was helping her get some relief. That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case.
Yeah, it was all innocent.
Right. But Bobby Petrino was married too whenever he crashed that motorcycle.
Yeah, you're.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
That might be the best image in all of college football lore. Is that remember after the accident he had that neck brace. His face is all scratched up and shit. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Because my boss at the time was a big Arkansas fan.
He crashed. So why So why did he crash his scooter?
No, he crashed his motorcycle with the girl he was cheating on his wife with on the back.
So the girl was.
It was like his secretary.
Yeah. I think she was. I don't know. I think he pulled like a Bill Clinton. She might have been like she was either a student or an intern or something.
Okay.
Well, she was a student, but I think like she had some job with the football program.
Okay, so she was riding with him on the motorcycle.
Yeah, she was on the back.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Here, this is the best picture in all of history. Put this on the screen.
Did she get hurt too, or?
Did she? You know what? I don't know, but look at this.
If she was also.
Oh man. Where is it? There it is. There he is. Look at his face. Oh, talk about disgrace, bro.
Yeah, disgrace. Yeah.
Disgrace. That was the end. That was the beginning of the end for him. I'm surprised he got a second chance at Louisville, honestly.
Uh-oh.
I'm surprised he did good at Louisville because it wasn't Michael Vick in Atlanta when he was the offensive coordinator for the Falcons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's actually kind of surprising that he had success with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh, Bobby.
Gotta love him.
Yep.
Oh, man.
I like your digs there, Pete. Your studio's coming right along.
Yeah, I'm about, I guess I'd probably about 90% finished with it. There's going to be some more decorations and stuff, but this is, I spent till, I don't know if you heard me at the beginning of the show, I spent till about 2:30 in the morning working in here just so I could get ready so I could stream in here today. But it's I can't tell you how much better it feels in here. I don't feel like I'm in a closet anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you guys could never see on camera exactly what was going on in this room except for what was going on right where I was. But there was a lot going on. There was a lot going on. So, but now I can run around and act like a maniac in here, which is the main reason I did it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Give yourself some room. That's right.
Yeah, give myself some room. I can even, every time Clemson scores a touchdown, I can even do a cartwheel back there. Don't have to worry about hitting my shin on anything. It's great.
Maybe now, whenever you have somebody in studio with you, they're not off screen, just on the mic.
Yeah, that's another good point. I could have someone actually sit here with me on camera. Yeah.
We need to get, one of these days, we need to get a visual, because we hear it all the time, but we actually need to get a visual of Miss Peete watching a Clemson game.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Well, she's
That would be great.
She's welcome to come sit in this recliner I got right here, and watch the games, you know. But I made her own space that we basically, here's the other than just making this studio, we transferred the man cave or whatever you want to call it, the football viewing room all the way down in the garage. So and that's a bigger space than this, obviously. So I think that's where she's going to spend most of her time watching football is in that garage. But she's welcome to come up here.
Oh, so we won't even hear her anymore then.
Yeah, we need a Mrs. Peete stream. Yeah.
You know what I think? She maybe have her and Jackpot side by side during the Clemson South Carolina game.
Oh God.
My gosh.
That might actually be amazing.
Yeah, I think that
would be entertaining, I'll tell you that.
If she was willing,
Jackpot for the South Carolina game and have them both in there.
See, she doesn't like being on camera.
I think that would break.
Well, she doesn't have to be. She can have like kind of like we're all doing on the StreamYard.
Well, somebody said.
On camera, 'cause I got a feeling she jumps up and yells at the TV and all kinds of shit.
Well, here's the thing. This room is right over the garage. So what if somebody made a good point. I could run a wire down to the garage with one of those little like lapel microphones on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And that way I could I could feed that right to my computer, and then I could turn on the microphone and turn it off as I wish. So anytime, something's crazy is going on in the game, I could turn it on and listen to her lose her mind, and I could turn it off.
That's great.
I don't know how she'd feel about that though. But.
Got Gotta love how Pete's talking about wiretapping his own wife for.
I could even put one of those little hidden cameras down there, like a nanny cam, you know?
Oh, there you go.
It's for science.
For science.
Then we can.
Holy hell, what is that beeping?
Yeah, back that ass up.
That was my mom walking backwards.
Oh, God.
Hey, Slim, are you going to go see the Barbie movie this weekend?
Absolutely not. Do I strike you as a Barbie movie type guy?
No.
Isn't there something else?
Just asking.
Isn't there something else going on with that Barbie movie?
I heard they spent $100 million or more to make that damn
Holy
movie.
hell.
Yeah. I mean, it's got a great cast. It's Margot Robbie. It's
who plays Ken?
Ryan Gosling. Will Ferrell's in it. It might be a funny movie, but I don't know.
Who's Ken? Right, Ryan Gosling?
Yeah, Ryan Gosling's Ken.
Yeah.
And Will Ferrell's like the head of Mattel, I guess.
Who's Barbie?
You know, Barbie's Margot Robbie.
Oh.
Yeah.
The chick that played Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Margot Robbie's hot, man. Ooh.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, but lead actress material, she is not.
Well, for Barbie, she is. And she was actually fantastic in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She was unreal. And she was great as Jordan Belfort's wife in The Wolf of Wall Street. She was terrific.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, I do got to bounce. I'm going to tattoo shop.
All right. Well, have fun there.
That's right. Yeah.
Are you getting a tattoo?
Have a great weekend. Talk soon.
Are you getting a tattoo of Barbie?
I'm not getting a Barbie tattoo.
Right.
Well, how about an Oppenheimer? So that's the next movie that's opening this week.
That ought to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested in history as much as the next person. Well, probably more than the next person because I am a history nerd. But like, if you had done something about the Manhattan Project, all right, maybe I'd go watch that. I don't really give a shit about the rest of Oppenheimer's life.
Well, it's all about that. I mean, it's Christopher Nolan's doing this movie.
Hey, I know you got to go, Slim, but have you seen the latest John Wick yet? John Wick 4?
Yes, I have.
Okay. I just watched it the other day. I loved it.
And you liked it, Pete?
I did, yeah.
I like them all. Hey, for the same reason I like all the Expendables, man.
I mean, it's what you get.
Terrible as movies have been in general for the past, 10 years or so. Some classic, just good old-fashioned action movies I dig.
Yeah, I mean, you get what you get with John Wick, but in my opinion, it was the most entertaining out of the four. I liked it the most. Well, in part one. But anyway.
Well, you have the Indiana Jones movie out there, the Dial of Destiny. That's out there now, and the Mission Impossible movie.
Hold on now. Is Indiana Jones? Where is that, in the theaters?
I think it is. I think it's in the theaters now. Yeah.
I might have to go see that this weekend. I know it's supposed to be terrible, but here's what I'll do. I'll try to go see it this weekend and report back to everybody how terrible it was.
Well, Pete, it got mixed reviews.
It did.
A lot of people said it's very entertaining. Yeah, there's some goofy parts here and there, but they said it's quite an entertaining movie.
Huh. I might have to go see that tonight. I don't know.
And I just really think that the Mission Impossible movie is going to be probably fantastic too.
Yeah, I don't know. It's Tom Cruise again?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be Cruise.
Yeah.
Cruise said he wants to do those type of movies until he's 80.
Well, he's an alien, so he can do it.
Yes, a damn alien. All right, guys. Y'all have a great weekend.
All right. See you later, Scott.
Bye.
Take it easy. That's going to do it for me as well. I got to go. I got to actually do some more work in here. All right. Any last words? Well, but there goes Baylor, man. Any last words? Vic, you got your show today at 3:00?
No, I think that, no, it's at 6.
Oh, it's 6. I'm sorry. Yeah, 6.
Oh, yeah.
What's it called again?
It's called
Live with VicTube?
VicTube Live.
VicTube Live. Everyone go check that out. I'm trying to stop in there. Support my man, Vic. All right, see you later, Vic. Call-in show tonight, everybody, at 10 p.m. I'm especially looking forward to hearing from some Tennessee fans and of course, LSU fans, but whatever. I'll take anybody, Clemson fans, anybody, of course, can call into the call-in show, but especially those guys. All right, everybody, have a great Friday. I'll see you guys tonight at 10 p.m.